So let's switch gears now. Let's jump over to the defensive side of the ball. Tim just perked up, and we're going to start with some of the videos that you gave here, Tim, from earlier today. Some of the drills that was going on. Here was Coach Covington, right? Speed to power, 0 to 3 tech drill. I love how they line this up. So they're working with 3 pass rushers here on this drill. Tim, if you just want to kind of talk us through it here, man. This is nice. Love. We'll turn it up for just a second.
Get a good listen here. He's just basically lining them up. So you see Rashawn's in the wide 9 there, it looks like, and they're basically just they're running reps. Love the new paint on the field this year, by the way, when they do this. Gives me a chance to run over there. I know they're lining up for these type of drills. And it's repetition, and they're watching every movement. I can't tell you how many times I've seen guys pulled back to repeat, the simplest of drills because something wasn't right. And as you see, I believe that's Alexander there running in at the end. They made him repeat his last rep. Rashawn kind of leading by example on that edge, but Coach Covington and Coach Ogabasi, man, they are playing no games with this defensive front at all. And we all know about the ball king. So, you put all of those attributes together and, add on top of it that you're basically, let's call it what it is. This defense is going to be ball hawking. This is a ball hawking defense in 2025, I think, all 3 levels of this D. And you see it all starts in the trenches, man. And it's just fun to watch these guys work.
Jacob, look at your boy Brenton Cox, how fast, man. Look at this.
Yeah.
Well, you knew I was going to bring up Cox for sure, but he does look more explosive. Every single time that you listen to an Minnesota interview where Matt has a chance to talk about him or even half or whatever, they all say the same thing, that he's just done the right things, that he's really fine-tuned his game. I talk about it multiple times, that when he was coming out of college, other than the fact that he had some sort of, off-the-field issues or on-the-field issues sometimes, his biggest knock was that he didn't care about anything other than himself being in the play. So he'd overrun constantly. He'd over pursue. He wouldn't be able to set the edge. He'd make some boneheaded attempts at diving tackles and take himself out of the play. I think that him just understanding how to be a selfless player and listening to the coaching staff, like Tim just stood there, they're really taking the time to explain to these guys, not just what they're doing, but why they're doing it. And you see a guy, Cox, that has come and developed the way that he does. That has to be a testament of what he's done as an individual player, but also how much the coaches have learned that they've got to get a certain thing or coach a certain trait out of him and then reinstate that with better, more positive traits that are more consistent. And I can't tell you how proud I am of that guy, because I'll be honest, like when he first, I thought he'd maybe make the team and then it'd be like a one flash in the pan, one stint and you're done kind of thing. But he has progressed to the point where I believe is our 3rd rotational defensive edge, whatever you want to call him. And he's a dangerous one, man.
Yeah, Emilio, when you look at this contraption they're working here, obviously on a ball drill, does that not look like a push mower to use? That a walk behind? What is this?
It does look like a mower.
Would you imagine? That thing probably clear a whole acre in 20 minutes, no problem. But I love that. I love that they're working on getting their hands up, right? I mean, you're not getting punched in the stomach like it's going to happen in the game, but you're still engaging, trying to stretch your arms, get that extension and get vertical. I love that. You can't get to them. You got to get your hands up.
Yeah, you get that wingspan, Tim, with people like LVN, man, the long arms. And, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, I don't remember this specific drill last year in camp.
I was just going to say that.
There's more than one, too. We've seen a few this year. I know Ryan touched on it on his pod, I believe, yesterday, or maybe even today's pod this morning. Just talking about some things that are kind of new this year. And maybe it is, we've got a new D-line coach. We've got some new blood in there. We've got Hafley. We always use the term year 2 in Hafley's scheme. Well, Hafley tells us every chance he gets that it's a different scheme every rip. We're trying to be, creative. So whatever that means, I think we have the personnel together, and I think we have the right staff. And you're seeing it out here. I mean, we had no pads the first couple of days, and these guys were out hitting the ground running. The intensity was high. But yeah, it's definitely ball hawking, man. That was off camera. That was the ball king throwing those balls to the guys and screaming at them in that drill. It was pretty cool.
And the first 2 that were in that drill was Kenny and Rashawn. Love that.
That's the first 2 in every drill. I think so far. Those are your leaders. Yep.
Love to see it. So this is the one is a break the sled drill, right, Tim?
Oh man, can we run sound on this?
Yeah, let's crank it up.
Bring this up, Coach Ogabasi, man. Let's go.
Big Coach O.
Let's just take a listen here.
Love it.
Getting that last canola.
It ain't broke yet. Break it, he says.
Stay pressing. Can we be patient? Go. Hey, Des, let me get one more. Let's go. Get on the floor. Get on support group. Here we go.
Love it.
The OVN on the outside here.
You did do the opposite side. Here we go. Snap in the hand. Here we go. Snap in the hand.
Right.
Yeah, we need to check on the OVN haters. They're not well. He's having a hell of a camp. It seems like every day somebody's talking about LVN. And Emilio, how important, dude, is it? Jacob, too, man. I want to get your take. If LVN pops this year, this defense, with what Rashawn Gary's already done his entire career, if all of a sudden we got a guy on the other side that the offensive coordinator's got, okay, we can't just chip 52 all game. We got to focus on 90. How crucial is that, man?
Still need that Eddie Murphy. Hercules. Still need the drop. But, yeah, dude, and here, I mean, you're rotating sides, right? You're engaging, you're looking left, right on the dummy, and then you're going left, and then you're right, I'm going to flip over to the other side. Like you see LVN starting here on the left side. Okay, I'm going to work my left side rip, and then I'm going to go to the other side. All right, I'm going to engage, work on my right side rip. I love the consistency that he's bringing as a coach and pushing each player, LVN included, to try to, really get them to their best. So let's work on all these drills. You're going to be engaging in blocks. You're going to be trying to stop, passing lanes. All these things are going to benefit you. It's just repetitive and consistency.
Yep. Yeah. And I think this is a really, really good point here. 2-0 for this says, I really don't hear anyone beating Jordan Morgan other than LVN. I was thinking about that today, 2-0 for this. Jacob, it's easy to LVN, he's just torching Morgan, right? Morgan's kind of the whipping child right now. And it's funny, too, because I want to say Coach LaFleur actually bragged on Morgan a little bit earlier today, if I remember correctly. But nonetheless, you had LVN go up against Anthony Belton later in Family Night, and I believe he torched him too. So, the common denominator in practice every day is LVN's the one that's kind of sticking out. You know what I'm saying, Jacob?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And I would expect him to. I'm not going to call anybody out in the chat, but I did see somebody said, if he doesn't get 10 sacks this year, the Packers should cut him. No, dude. He's 24, first-round draft pick, an absolute freak of nature. Needed some time to get used to what was going on there, and he's a physical freak of nature. And the fact that we haven't given him enough time. You look at the Trey Hendricksons of the world, enter whatever kind of pass rusher that just took a few years to get his skill set. I think the LVN came in just as a little bit, I wouldn't say raw, but an absolute muscle freak that had a bull rush. Didn't really have a lot else in his bag, and I think now you can see. And I really do love the way that, like we talked about just last segment, how there's these different drills that I don't remember seeing. Even this one, I'm sure they did drills similar to this, but the way that Coach is getting these guys jacked, you see the way Rashawn Gary came off his reps and just screaming. Same with LVN. These guys are jacked up. They're not just they're not going through the motions of these drills. I think that he's reiterated how important these reps are. You see that stand, like Emilio talked about, having the block engaged and then checking those running lanes, being able to see around. Because there were so many times where I felt like in years past, with these guys engaged on the line of scrimmage, and they have no vision. They don't know what's going on. They're just fighting the man in front of them, trying to win, but they're not really cognizant of where the play is developing around them, whether or not they should start moving his guy, trying to fill gaps, or if they need to try to shed, and whatever the case may be. It feels like they really are teaching him technical traits with drills that are specifically made for that.
Yeah. Tim, like they're showing right here, man, I'm noticing that they're doing double reps, and it's technique, and then finish the rep.
Yes.
Right? See the technique, and now you'll see, all right, finish the rep. Watch the next guy.
Yep.
This looks like this might be Devontae Wyatt, maybe.
Yep.
Watch it. Technique, all right, finish the rep.
Finish the rep. Right. Get off and bring the rip. That's the running theme. I mean, if I had $1 for every time I heard Coach Covington say bring the rip, I'd be a millionaire already, and we're not even through the first preseason game yet. But yeah, there is an emphasis on, like, to your point, and like what Jacob was saying is, it's power, it's all of these things, right? Use your strength, but it's also the the technical side of it. And I think that that's something that they're running together in tandem. And maybe that's a little different compared to last year with, Coach Reb and, Coach Montgomery and, some of the faces that we've had with the group. And that's not a knock on those guys. It's just a different approach by, Coach Covington, I think, with this group. And really, him and Wendell and VO, those three, you see them working together. They are a unit. They're separate but equal at all times. And, the nice thing is they hold each other accountable. They hold these players accountable. And then in turn, the players are holding themselves accountable. We've seen time and time again, Rashawn or Kenny Clark, maybe demand something of a player. And, you might expect a coach to say, hey, okay, he'll kind of take control of it. It's like these coaches are stepping back and letting these leaders lead. And it's showing up every day at practice. You can see it.
Yeah, Emilio, notice right here, too, you got number 93 Stackhouse, right? And it's a pass rush.
Yep.
Boy, it looks pretty darn quick, man, for a big player.
For being able to block out the sun and keep Tim cool, man. He is a man right there. And love the 93. It's a great look, but perfect. I mean, it just falls back to the last rep, the last drill. Everybody is trying to get better. We're working on little things. We're working on the technical things, like Tim was saying, to get better, to make everybody else better. I'm going to take that time and show it, demonstrate it, and then I'm going to take the time to work individually with guys, even Kenny. You know what I mean? It's not like we're just taking it out on the rookies and, hey, you're going to do extra reps because of this. No, we're all trying to get better, veterans included.
Definitely. All right, let's keep it moving here. Let's go back to the article and let's hit the defensive highlights. Just wanted to start off with all that awesome footage that Tim got. Appreciate you, buddy. You absolutely crushed that game, man. So LVN, we talked about him a little bit, right? Here, LVN sacked Jordan Love and stopped a run by Josh Jacobs. Wes Hodkiewicz put a tweet out, said, "One's move the ball opens with a Van Ness sack and Jordan Love dirts it." So that's one of those probably we were talking about throwing the ball away type thing. But again, man, LVN just continuing to flash. You're going to hear more about Edgerrin Cooper here in a second, but after this one. But Edgerrin Cooper broke up a pass to Tucker Kraft that shows speed in disrupting plays. And then Wes Hodkiewicz went on to point out Cooper and Enigbare all over play action. So Edgerrin Cooper, that's another point of this whole training camp here is you kind of, okay, is he going to take a step back? Are we not going to hear his name much? It just seems like every single day Cooper does something to impress. I know Jordan Love was bragging on him earlier today too in his little mini presser after practice. We'll get to the Warren Brinson news here in a little bit. As you can see here, that same tweet, Warren Brinson favoring the shoulder after the play with Brian Engel and the trainers. Now we'll get to that here in a second. So here we got Corey Ballantyne. Signed a day earlier, pried a deep ball loose from Mecole Hardman. We already talked about that earlier. That's the clip we showed. Now, whether it was a fumble or an incomplete pass, it was a great recovery, obviously, from the rub route there from Malik Heath that Corey Ballantyne got back and banged that thing out. Wes Hodkiewicz put a tweet out, "McDuffie nearly picks Love on a pass across the middle to Reed, but that ball was doing 70 and a 55. So evidently a little too much, or in that case, enough mustard on it to allow that thing to fall incomplete. But McDuffie being in the right place. He ran with the ones, I believe, today. We'll hit that in the lineup segment here in a second. Kenny Clark and Keyshawn Nixon stopped Josh Jacobs at the line of scrimmage. Wes Hodkiewicz put a tweet out, "Kenny Clark and Elton Jenkins showing the kids how it's done, setting the tone in one-on-ones." I don't know if Tim got to see that or not, but, boy, I would love to see a one-on-one between Kenny and Elton just up close and personal, kind of like one of those cams that we see on the sideline that you were showing, Tim. But That's two of the leaders on this team, right, man? Kenny in the middle, Elton Jenkins. Watch Kenny just come out and absolutely do exactly what we expected him to do last year. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you, Kenny looks pretty good. Like, I mean, who am I? I'm just a dude who loves football like all of us, right? But, I mean, that foot doesn't look like it's bothering him as much as it has in the past. He looks like what's the word I'm looking for? Reinvigorated. I don't know, like just lighter on his feet. He just seems a little bit faster. And, the big knock on Kenny is, he's getting older. He's, the last Ted Thompson draft pick on this team. And, I tell you, there's a handful of guys I really want to see get a Super Bowl on this team. And right at the top of that list are guys like Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary. So I'm all for it. But I did not get to see that rep. I would love to have seen it. I snuck into the stands maybe for about 20 minutes towards the end of practice today. I got to see a little bit of the the offense and defense doing team stuff. But I didn't get to see that Kenny Clark rep. It would have been great.
And another thing here, Emilio, Barron Sorrell had another strong day with the two, showed natural power and balance versus Telford. I think Barron Sorrell, I'm telling you, man, this isn't just training camp talk. This is, we're just getting excited over training camp, news. This camp feels different from last year. Am I wrong there? It just feels like there's more intensity, there's more focus. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it seems like they're amped up this year.
Yeah, different.
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
Where I was going with it, Matt's the one that kind of sets the tone. The players bring it every day, right? Matt can decide, hey, we need to be X, Y, and Z, but he can't be out there doing it all for the players. I love that they're taking it upon themselves to bring that. And Barron Sorrell, I mean, every time we hear something good about a rookie, it's huge, and if something bad happens, okay, fine. You got to dust it off and keep going. There's a lot of snaps left this year. There's a lot of time to get better. And I do think that's, where we're tracking. I'll just say this. I mean, he wouldn't have been having natural power and balance versus my boy Travis, but it's okay because Travis is going to be rehabbing and getting himself squared away for next year.
That's right. I think the defense got kind of lucky that Travis.
They did.
Just me personally. So
see, if we can't get him on the old show, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell Travis we need him on. We need him on here.
So the last little defensive highlight here, Rashawn Gary and Edrin Cooper batted down passes in a 3-play sequence. You love to hear that. It's going to be 2 players, going to be vital